In the world of heavy machinery, power meets precision. But when things go wrong, the results can be explosive. Welcome to a jaw-dropping journey through the most intense and unexpected moments where massive machines push their limits and fail spectacularly. From toppled cranes to runaway excavators, this compilation reveals just how quickly control can turn into chaos. These aren't just simple errors. They're full-blown mechanical meltdowns caught in real time. Whether it's a miscalculated load, a slippery slope, or just sheer bad luck, prepare to witness the raw, unfiltered reality of when man and machine lose the battle. Buckle up. This is going to get wild. It all begins like a routine lift. Calculated, controlled, and backed by tons of steel and engineering precision. A towering crane engages its massive jaws, gripping a heavy load meant to be moved with ease. But as the weight rises higher, subtle shifts start to occur. The balance is no longer perfect. The tension in the cables increases. The crane sways slightly, but enough to spark concern. In a matter of seconds, the load begins to tip, and the crane can't correct its position. Metal strains, jaws buckle, and with a deafening crash, the system collapses. The load slams into the ground, shattering on impact, while the crane's lifting arms twist and tear apart. A costly mistake captured as it unfolds in real time. At the shipyard, a massive crane lifts a heavy vehicle high into the air, preparing to dock it smoothly onto the ship. Everything seems under control until disaster strikes. Without warning, the steel cables snap under the immense weight. In a heart-stopping moment, the vehicle plunges downward, slamming into the ship's deck with devastating force. Metal crunches, alarms blare, and both the ship and the cargo suffer major damage in an instant. Out in the open ocean, a massive crane begins lifting heavy construction material to build an offshore rig. But as the load rises, the balance between crane and cargo starts to shift dangerously. The weight proves too much, tipping the crane off center. Within seconds, chaos erupts, equipment crashes, materials scatter, and the operation suffers a massive loss. A powerful reminder of how unforgiving the sea can be. A massive crane lifts an enormous pipe, but the load is too much to handle. In seconds, the structure tilts, loses control, and comes crashing down in a devastating collapse. A close call no one saw coming. A massive crane is carefully loaded onto a long truck, ready to be transported to another site. But mid-journey, disaster strikes. The crane slips from its position and begins to topple. In a split second, panic erupts as nearby workers leap out of the way, barely escaping. On board a massive ship, a crane begins unloading a luxurious yacht into the sea. But as the yacht is lifted over the edge, its weight shifts unexpectedly, throwing the entire system off balance. The crane jerks violently, struggles to stabilize, and fails. In seconds, the yacht crashes down, slamming into the ship's side. The crane twists, metal snaps, and all three, the yacht, ship, and crane, suffer heavy damage in a costly, chaotic disaster. On the side of a busy road, a massive crane lies toppled, its weight too much for a single recovery vehicle to handle. The scene is tense, traffic slowed, crews alert, and all eyes on the operation. Two powerful bulldozers roll into place, positioned carefully on either side of the fallen giant. Heavy-duty chains are secured, engines roar, and the synchronized effort begins. Inch by inch, the bulldozers pull with precision, their tires digging into the ground under the strain. The crane resists at first, its bulk refusing to budge, but the machines keep pushing. Slowly, the metal giant starts to rise. The crowd watches in awe as the combined force of the two bulldozers overcomes the dead weight. After a few tense minutes, the crane is upright once again. A successful recovery mission powered by pure strength, teamwork, and relentless determination. A costly lesson caught in real time. A large, powerful transport vehicle rumbles down a rural road. Dry port. Massive vehicles come and go. Workers are coordinating movements with signals and radios. And towering cranes shift heavy cargo containers with practiced ease. Among them stands one of the largest cranes on site, tasked with a critical operation, lifting a fully loaded shipping container from the bed of a long transport vehicle and placing it carefully on the ground, so the valuable equipment and materials inside can be safely withdrawn. The container is enormous, packed tightly with industrial-grade tools, mechanical components, and essential cargo bound for shipment. Its weight is extreme, but nothing the crane hasn't handled before, at least on paper. The operator checks the controls, ground workers secure the chains and hooks, and the process begins. The steel cables tighten. With a deep mechanical groan, the container rises from the vehicle bed, inch by inch. Dust swirls around the tires as the crane adjusts to the shifting center of gravity. Everyone watches as the massive load dangles midair, slowly being lowered toward the designated unloading zone. There's tension in the air, but no one expects what happens next. As the container hovers just a few feet from the ground, there's a sudden, almost imperceptible sway, a slight tilt, a moment of hesitation. The weight of the container begins to shift unnaturally to one side, and the massive crane, so powerful, so seemingly stable, begins to lean. At first, it's subtle, a wobble in the arm, a creak in the base. Then, without warning, disaster strikes. The crane jerks violently as the load pulls too far to one side. Steel bends. Hydraulic arms groan under the pressure, and then, like a falling giant, the entire crane loses its balance. In a matter of seconds, the towering machine crashes to the ground, dragged down by the weight of the very container it tried to place. The container itself is flung sideways, striking the pavement with a thunderous impact that sends shockwaves through the ground. The sound is deafening. Metal on concrete, bursting chains, collapsing machinery. Workers nearby scream and scatter, running for cover as chaos erupts across the dry port. Some dive behind nearby trucks. Others sprint in the opposite direction as the dust clouds rise, thick and choking. The ground shakes. Vehicles parked nearby are smashed by falling debris. Forklifts and trailers are overturned by the force of the collapse. Worse still, the crane's fall causes damage far beyond the immediate crash zone. A nearby office unit has its windows blown out from the shockwave. Containers stacked beside the crash site are knocked off balance, teetering dangerously. The container itself bursts open, spilling its contents, crushed, broken, and scattered across the ground. Emergency alarms blare across the facility. Security teams rush to cordon off the area, while first responders push through the chaos to ensure no one is trapped beneath the wreckage. Thankfully, due to quick reactions, many workers narrowly avoid injury, but the scene is left in ruins. In the aftermath, the damage is overwhelming. The crane is twisted and useless, a mangled mess of steel and hydraulics. The container's cargo is destroyed, its materials unsalvageable. The vehicle that transported the container is also severely damaged from the impact. What started as a routine offloading operation at the dry port has become a multi-million-dollar disaster. Investigations begin immediately. Was the container's weight misjudged? Were the securing mechanisms faulty? Did the crane's foundation shift due to uneven ground? Every detail is under scrutiny, because in an environment like this, where machines operate at extreme limits. There's zero margin for error. This event serves as a chilling reminder of how even the most advanced and powerful machinery can be brought down by a single miscalculation. The bigger the machine, the harder it falls. And when it does, the consequences are enormous. What should have been a standard procedure turned into a full-blown catastrophe in less than 30 seconds. The dry port, now still and silent, will take days, if not weeks, to recover from the damage. But the lesson it leaves behind is clear. In the world of heavy lifting, safety and precision aren't optional. They're everything. What you've just seen are real, raw moments where heavy machines and massive cranes met their limits and sometimes lost the battle. These incidents aren't just shocking to watch, they're a powerful reminder of how critical precision, balance, and safety are in the world of industrial operations. One wrong move, one miscalculation, and thousands of pounds of steel come crashing down, damaging everything in their path from vehicles and buildings to entire work zones. At dry ports, shipyards, construction zones, or offshore rigs, these machines play a vital role, but they also carry extreme risks. Whether it's a crane toppling under the weight of a container, cables snapping mid-lift, or operators reacting in split seconds to avoid tragedy, every clip in this video holds a lesson and a story. If you enjoy content that dives into the power, scale, and danger of heavy machinery in action, then you're in the right place. Thank you for watching. If you found this video interesting or eye-opening, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss our next upload. More unbelievable real-world footage is coming soon. Stay tuned.